When I was 21 years old, I was the saddest I had ever been. My mother had just died after a 13-year battle with cancer, and I was heartbroken. I didn't know how to survive without hearing her voice on the other end of my phone every day. I thought that I was the saddest that I could possibly be. But life has a way of surprising you, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse, and this time it was for worse. About a month and a half after my mother's passing, I went back to college. My sister and my fiance were at the same school as me, and so I knew I could get through. I could get through with them by my side. But then I found myself, the day that my dad dropped me off in my new apartment and drove back to Colorado, I found myself in a dark parking lot, staring at my fiance, open-mouthed, uncomprehending, as he said, "Sarah, I just don't see how I could ever be comfortable marrying you." My whole world fell apart. The whole year was just a blur of darkness and despair. My sister Rachel had to start sleeping at my apartment so she could get me dressed in the morning and walk me to class so that I wouldn't fail out of school and so that she would make sure I was still alive. But eventually time passes, whether you want it to or not. And Rachel was able to start sleeping in her own apartment again. Somehow, I passed my classes. And one day I was looking at my college newspaper, just browsing the want ads, thinking maybe I should get a part-time job. And an ad popped out to me, not for a job, but for an audition. And I was intrigued because I love to be on stage. I crave being on stage. Come be a young performing missionary in Nauvoo, Illinois. I was very excited about this idea, but I knew that even at my college, the competition was fierce. So in my whole church, I was not, the chances were very slim. But I sent in my audition tape anyway, and a few months later, I found myself at a callback. I don't really remember how my callback went. Did I do my best? I must have, because I got selected. I don't remember how my song went. I only remember how the song went of the guy with the weird beard. This guy stands up, he says, "I'm growing a beard for a play, sorry," and then he starts to sing and our jaws hit the floor. I was stunned. The voice and the charisma coming out of this man as he sang Gaston's song from the musical Beauty and the Beast was unbelievable. Afterwards, I tried to go up and tell him what a great job he did in the elevator, but he just brushed me off. I thought, oh well, moved on, never thought a second thing about it. Fast forward to the summer, we arrive in Nauvoo, Illinois. Young performing missionaries of 2004. I was really surprised that I didn't see the guy with the weird beard there. How could he not have been chosen? Maybe he was chosen and he just didn't accept the call. But there was a really cute new guy there that I did not remember from auditions. I thought maybe he was a video submission. We started trying out for the solos, and when the new cutie stood up and started to sing, it shocked me to my core. It was the guy with the weird beard. I guess a haircut and a clean shave does a lot for some guys. The guy with the weird beard, his name was Elder McKenna, but all the girls started calling him Elder McKenna because he looked a lot like a Ken doll. The name stuck, and as the summer went on, I found myself writing progressively more and more gushy and nauseatingly effusive letters home about Elder McKenna. Now, missionaries are not allowed to date, missionaries of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are not allowed to date on their missions. But we were assigned to hug during a sad scene in one of the shows. And that hug became the best part of every day. It started out as a polite little stage hug, but by the end of the summer, he was squeezing me so tight I could barely breathe, and I loved it. The summer went on, and we talked, and we talked, and we talked. It's all we were allowed to do. The elders and the sisters were not kept separate like on most missions because we were performing together all day, every day. So we were either on stage together, backstage together, or eating in between the shows together. I felt myself coming back to life as I fell in love with this boy who had suddenly become my very best friend in the world. Later that summer, my Granny and Grampy came to see me perform, and it happened to be the same week as Elder McKendall's family. Granny and Grampy took myself and another sister missionary to a fancy buffet, and we were treated with a big dinner, which I could not eat a single bite of because I was so nervous about singing in front of Elder McKendall's family. What if they didn't like me? What if they didn't think I was a good singer? What if? My granny was baffled. Her boisterous, almost overconfident granddaughter had never been such a nervous wreck. I survived. I sang the song. I met the people. Everyone acted a little too casual about it, like it was no big deal. I found out later why. Toward the end of the summer, I said to Elder McKendall, so, what are you doing between the week of the mission ending and school starting? Because I hear Colorado is really nice that time of year. He said, oh, that's good to know. Now, we had kept the mission rules, which means we had not even talked about how we liked each other. But everyone knew. We knew, everyone knew. All the senior missionaries kept coming up to us and saying things like, you two send us an invitation. And we would just stand there turning bright red, thinking we haven't even told each other that we like each other. Well, when I arrived home, I picked up the phone immediately and called Elder McKendall. Are you coming to visit? Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Apparently, Elder McKendall had written home to his parents and said, would you please buy me a plane ticket to visit my good friend, Sister Westover, in Colorado the week before school starts? They were baffled. Who? He hadn't said one single word to them about me. I guess boys and girls are different. His mother pulls out her pictures from the trip and, surprise, I'm in every single one of them. There we are singing hymns together. There we are sitting together at dinner. There we are greeting people after the shows. They had no idea. When Elder McKendall arrived at the Denver International Airport, I ran up and gave him a huge hug. We were both very excited, but very nervous. I kept waiting for him to hold my hand or give me a kiss, but none of that was happening. So on the way home, my dad asked us to stop at the grocery store and pick something up. And I thought, this is ridiculous. So I grabbed his hand in the refrigerator section, and it felt like the most natural thing in the world. That night, we shared our first kiss on my dad's green leather couch in his basement. And after that first magical kiss, he leaned back, looked at me, and said, I love you, Sarah. I love you too, Logan, I replied. Surprise, I married the guy with the weird beard. And this year will be our 20-year wedding anniversary. I am so grateful for life's twists, turns, and big surprises.